Ready?
Hit it!
Hello everyone and welcome to Twice Nightly the podcast with Maria Lovelady
And Michael Alan-Bailey, a podcast that aims to bring everything variety out of the wings and into the limelight.
So what are we waiting for?
Let's raise the curtain
And start the show!
Coming up on today's show, we have a special bonus Christmas episode.
We speak to the cast of Elves Overboard, Ian H Watkins, Gareth Thomas and Caryl Parry Jones.
And find out what big purple thing H can't live without.
The answer may surprise you, although it might not. Ho, ho, ho! I don't know, I just felt like I had to do that. Welcome back, everybody, to a very special bonus episode of Twice Nightly, the podcast. Now, we're still on a hiatus from our regular series, which will be resuming in 2024, but we thought we'd bring you this extra special little festive bonus because we wanted to talk a little bit about what we are up to this Christmas, which we often do on the podcast, but usually we're so busy doing it that it's always a reflection, isn't it? It's always in January where it's like, well, what did you get up to at Christmas? While we're doing it, it's always so busy that we never get a chance. But this year we thought we're going to get ahead of the game. We're going to do a whole special episode on this, which we've been grappling with, I think, since we started the podcast, haven't we? About doing a panto-themed episode. But I feel like that's a whole series in itself.
You're right. We need to do a full series just on panto. When we're talking about variety and we're talking about Christmas, pantomime is the thing that links them. But how lovely to do a kickoff of that with our own panto that we have wrote, Elves Overboard, which will be on in Cowbridge, Wales this Christmas.
Shouldn't that be written, dear? Sorry, that was me hyacinth bouquet.
Well, as you know, last year we were on tour with our show Twice Nightly. Now, Twice Nightly is our baby. We wrote it, we directed it, we choreographed it, we produced it, we starred in it. We literally did everything.
Did we mention Twice Nightly? Did we ever mention it on the podcast?
Because we were spotted during that tour, we have been asked by Ducky Fuzz Productions to write a show for Cowbridge Town Hall, which is an amazing venue right in the heart of Cowbridge. And the town hall hasn't had a panto on there, I don't think, ever. I think that's what they've said. They've never had a panto on there at all. And our task was to write something starring Michael and myself that was going to bring that magic of Christmas. What should we call it? The variety kiss, the variety touch.
Yeah, that traditional variety touch, I think, is a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, to Cowbridge this Christmas. And we have been so honoured to do this. We've done so much research into Welsh culture and the mythology of Wales. And obviously, we have just luxuriated since about June in all things Christmas, which actually is one of mine and Mike's, if not our favourite time of year. And I was working this out, Mike. I think this will be our fourth Christmas show together.
Do you know what? Part of me wants to say, is that all?
I know.
Feel like we're constantly doing Christmas shows together.
Something or other at Christmas.
I feel like the most time if you looked at our friendship as a pie chart and you had what percentage have Mike and Maria been friends and they've been dressed as elves, I would assume that it was quite a big slice of the pie chart.
And we're always eating pie. It's a wonder we can even fit in the elves costumes anymore.
Pork pies and elves costumes.
But we can, and we are so excited to bring this production of Elves Overboard to Cowbridge. So if you are listening and you are from the Cowbridge area and you have already bought a ticket, thank you so much, because I think it's so important, and we touch on this in the interviews in this episode, of how important it is to support the local arts in your area. Unfortunately, there's not lots of government funding and there's not a lot of this kind of stuff happening in places all over the UK. And so for companies to be putting these shows on and for people to be supporting them are so important. And not just for us, obviously, as theatre makers, but to give chance to people from the area to perform. So we are so lucky that we've had FJDC who are a dance company local to the area who are providing, must be about 30 dancers, mustn't there? All children from a wide variety of ages. And they are going to be on stage with us, dancing away and playing a few roles as well. So thank you, because by buying a ticket, you've really supported so much more than the show. It's also the growth of the community and of all those amazing performers that are getting given this opportunity on stage.
Oh,
And
you've just nicked me word. I was going to say, my favourite word that I've taken from doing the podcast is the word community. You know, we've become part of the variety theatre community and all this. But it's so true, isn't it? Community is so important. And how many people have spoken to us in the run-up to doing Elves and said, how lovely that we've got a show coming to us that means that we don't have to go to the big cities and pay the big city prices, because it's not viable for a lot of people. And bringing a show that's accessible to smaller communities was a big part of why we wanted to do this.
That's how we got into the theatre on our own. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I never went into the big, well, I'm, just from outside of Liverpool. We never went to Liverpool to see the panto. They were all happening on our doorstep. And actually, the Queen's Hall that I'm talking about reminds me of the Cowbridge Town Hall, and that's been knocked down. That doesn't exist anymore. And now you would have to go into the big cities. And so I think in these spaces, it's so important to use them while they're there. And Ducky Fuzz have done an amazing job of renovating the town hall along with the council into making it a beautiful venue that is just going to be so stunning. So if you've been to the town hall before, you are in for a surprise, because it is so, I mean, it was gorgeous before. It's a beautiful building, but they've really done.
Oh no, but what they've done is, like, they've given it a facelift, they've given it fillers, they've given it Botox, they've given it Ozempic, they've given it everything. They've thrown everything out, and the venue looks absolutely incredible. I don't think I fully realised what they were going to do with the venue.
No.
When we signed on to this, there was talk of like, oh, we're going to get new curtains and all this, and that's exciting enough. But then when I saw what they'd done with the venue, I was completely blown away, and it definitely gave me that extra little buzz of excitement to get in there this Christmas.
So Mike and I have been, and you're going to hear the results of that today. So we went and we worked with the dance company because they're playing roles in the show and they're dancing in the show. But we also recorded interviews with our 3 celebrities, who we'll get to in a minute. But what surprised us the most, and this idea of community, is how beautiful Cowbridge High Street is, and how many community restaurants and shops and bars there are.
And butchers for our pork pies.
For our pork pies. And I think that's exciting in itself, because you can go and see a homegrown show and then go for a meal in a local restaurant. You're not having to go to the big chains and support. It's like the whole evening is just going to be gorgeous and so amazing for Cowbridge.
When I went, that's absolutely what I clocked. When I was walking up and down the high street, I was like, oh, there's a butcher's.
For your sausage rolls.
Absolutely.
We've just mentioned our 3 celebs that have so kindly given their voices to 3 of the main characters in our show. And today we would like to share the interviews that we did with them about how important it is to them, about why they wanted to get involved with Elves Overboard. Michael, would you like to read the bill?
So kicking off our lineup, playing our baddie, we have got the musical icon himself. It's only H from Steps, H Watkins. The crowd goes wild.
Right, I know what we can do, right?
Go on.
This is going to be a game, Mike. We've got to keep doing step songs until one of us runs out. Ready?
But no, we can't do that, because that's the last thing on my mind.
One for sorrow. It's like tennis.
Oh, I thought you meant we just had to drop them casually into the conversation.
No, like tennis. Steps tennis. Go.
Oh, right, okay. Heartbeat.
Tragedy.
Light Up the World.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Deeper Shade of Blue.
My favourite, Experienced, which is a solo track sung by H on their first album.
Well, thank you very much, because you gave me longer time to think then. Stomp!
So.
You cut out a little bit then.
So.
No, you did it again.
So.
No, it's cut out again. You're too high.
So.
No. Just stop singing it.
So.
No.
Hilarious. Well, I don't know what I've pressed now.
Live performance. Madge, give it up.
Summer of Love.
Hey! Oh my
Summer
God.
of Love. Is that?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yay! Okay.
Oh, I can't do it. I've lost it. I've lost it.
Yay! I won the steps tennis.
Only because you sang Summer of Love about 50 times. I can't think of any other song in the world now.
Well, here's where we'll fail. We did steps tennis, which is our expertise. Could you do the same thing for our Santa's rugby teams?
Well, no, the only rugby players I could name are the ones that have been on Strictly. Mark Rampercash. Oh, no, he was cricket, wasn't he? Darren Gough, was he rugby? No, he was cricket as well. Well, anyway, no, I can't name you any rugby players. I mean, I can name cricket players till I'm blue in the face. But the only rugby player that you need to know is the one that is in our show. The one and only, the delightful legend himself, Gareth Thomas. He was just an absolute dream. He was a joy to work with. He was a joy to spend time with. He was just everything that we wanted him to be, wasn't he?
Yeah, and an absolutely perfect person to play our Santa this Christmas.
He's warm, he's cozy, and he's absolutely hilarious.
And he's absolutely massive. If you check out the picture of me and him stood next to each other when I was directing him in the voiceover session, oh my goodness. So I'm 5'1". I don't even know what he is, but he's about 9 foot.
Well, because he's Father Christmas and you're an elf.
Made perfect sense.
And last but by certainly no means least, we've got the Welsh icon playing Mrs. Claus. It's Caryl Parry Jones. And I have to say that all the bits of voiceover that Carol's recorded for the show, I just keep listening to on a loop.
And do you know what's really a shame is that she recorded so many things that we can't even use. So I feel like there's a whole other show that we could create out of Carol's extra bits, because she was just so free in her recording style and she was just amazing.
Oh, she was a joy. She was an absolute joy. So let's kick off by speaking to Ian H Watkins, because not only is Ian our baddie, but he's also co-producer of the show. This all kind of wouldn't have happened without Ian's input. So let's go over now to Ian H Watkins, who is playing our devilishly wicked Spirit of Christmas.
H, you are the mastermind behind bringing this panto to Cowbridge.
Oh, I think so.
So tell us why it was so important for you to bring this to your community.
Yeah, for me, I'm hopefully a very positive and influential part of the community, and I just wanted to bring some magic and Christmas cheer back to our beautiful town, and it's not happened for a long, long time. It's important to me because my kids go to school here, all of their friends, and we needed somewhere where we can celebrate the magic of Christmas, because everybody at this age should still be believing in a bit of Christmas magic.
Mm-hmm. And what is Christmas magic to you and your house?
My house, do you know, because I'm a dad, I get to experience Christmas through my children's eyes now. I still believe in bells and unicorns and Santa, and so for us to enjoy that with our children and our families, it's really magical.
Can I tell you something that is absolutely true?
Oh.
I believed in Father Christmas, and I'm not lying with this story, until I read the Steps Annual in God knows what year.
What?
And I read the Steps Annual, and in the annual it said, when did you stop believing in Father Christmas? And Claire said this age, Faye said that age, Lisa, Lee, and you were the only one that said, what? He's still real, isn't he?
Oh!
And I was like, there you go. He must be real, because H is the only one. H still believes that is absolutely true, and that's the first time I read it at Christmas, and I thought, oh my God, he's not real.
I'm going to have a word with them.
I know, they ruined it.
Yeah, crack the whip.
Ruined it. So, Christmas. Talking all about Christmas, and you are playing the baddie in this, which is not your usual persona. However, you have played baddies in the past, and you are a panto veteran along with Gareth. So what have been some of the best roles that you've ever played on stage?
Oh, wow. I've had incredible roles in amazing musicals over the years. So I've played Joseph in the West End. I did Fame. One of the baddies you're talking about, I played the most brilliant role. It was the child catcher in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That is probably my favourite role that I've ever done, because I got to dress up. I had a bald head, pointy ears. I came on stage on this horse-drawn carriage with creepy music, and I used to step off the carriage and I would literally say one word, Jeremy. I know, and even that noise makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
And I could hear children crying in the audience, and I thought, my job is done. So I get to do it all again in Cowbridge.
You do. And so how is it going to be for you this time? Because you mentioned your two boys before. How is it going to be for them seeing Dad as the evil baddie? What do you think their take's going to be?
Well, they will never... sometimes I shout at my children, but not like this. This is a very different role, and they'll never see or hear me do this. So I don't know how they'll react. Who knows?
Who knows? So, Christmas songs. What's your favourite Christmas song?
Oh my gosh, I love... and it's more of a New Year song, but it's very festive. Do you know O Lang Syne?
Yes.
But I love the Sarah McLachlan version, which is in the Sex and the City movie.
Yeah, oh my God, it's so gorgeous.
Also classics like Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Steps, it's actually just reminded me, we did a winter-themed album, a Christmas-themed album called Light Up the World, and we did lots of Christmas covers. We got to do... there was a TV show called Smash.
Yeah.
And we did it very kind of Christmas-esque, and it was called History is Made at Night. And I love that song.
Oh, amazing. And so what can't you get through Christmas without?
Gin. Do you know, Christmas now, and I love it. I get to wake up with my boys and my fella Tom, and my parents come over, and it's just all about family and friendship and magic through the boys' eyes, and that for me is just perfect.
What has to be on your Christmas dinner plate?
Sprouts.
Really?
I love sprouts.
I love sprouts.
It's controversial. One of my friends makes sprout sandwiches all year round. I know, it's weird, but I love sprouts, so I get it.
But there's something so festive about them, because most people, unlike your friend, do only ever have them at Christmas.
I have them probably weekly. I love
you?
them. Yeah, I used to grow them. I had an allotment
Ooh.
when I was little. Yeah,
You're
I
getting
did.
the scup now, guys.
Yeah.
The other side
Wow.
of H Watkins.
It'll be in the newspapers tomorrow, not.
Would you rather have mulled wine or a Bucks Fizz?
Ooh, I like mulled wine. It just feels like it's Christmas in a cup. It's spicy, it's warm, and you get drunk at the same time.
You do. You definitely do. Would you rather have a Terry's chocolate orange on Christmas Day or a Ferrero Rocher on Christmas Day?
Oh, that's a hard call. I would probably say Ferrero Rocher.
And if you had to pick a brand of selection box, what brand would it be?
Or which one are the ones with the big purple shiny ones?
That's a different type of selection box, but I think that you mean Quality Streets.
No, I like the big purple ones.
There we go. You're going to get floods of them sent to the theatre now. Floods and floods of big purple ones. Well, I don't think we need to ask you any more questions after that. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And we just can't wait to share the stage with you, even if it's only in voice.
Me too. I'm super excited, and thank you for doing this. It's just amazing.
Why don't you give us a little sneak of your spirit of Christmas?
Ooh. Oh, hello.
Fabulous. Hey.
Well, I think the biggest revelation to come out of this whole episode is that Ian H. Watkins from Steps has sprouts on a weekly basis.
I know. I didn't know anyone
weekly
did that.
basis. Mind you, when I think about it, we used to go to my nan and granddad's for Sunday dinner every week, and I feel like they did sprouts most weeks.
I don't think I've ever had sprouts except at Christmas time, and even then, there's always loads of spare ones because nobody really likes them except me and my mum, but my mum makes them anyway, and then we just eat them all.
I don't like them.
Don't you?
No, they just smell, don't they? I know it's a really cliche thing, but they do just smell of...
Oh, but
of
I love a good plate of veg.
Maria's also partial to a McDonald's egg.
A McDonald's egg. Well, just all eggs, but Mike hates eggs. So if he gets a
I'm
McDonald's
not an
and
egg
it's
fan.
got an egg on it, I'll have his egg.
But Maria kind of like shuffles up to you and goes, "Are you going to eat your egg?"
We're on tour. I've got to get all the protein I need.
So
Oh.
I want to echo your question to Ian, to you, and say, what is an essential on your Christmas dinner?
Oh, well, roast potatoes. I
Yeah.
could just have, but they have to have gravy. So roast potatoes and the gravy. I get really annoyed if there's not enough gravy. I used to work in a restaurant and the chefs used to get really annoyed with me on a Sunday because I would just like make the whole Sunday lunch swim and they'd be like, "You've taken all the flavor out of it." And I'd be like, "Don't care. I just need that gravy."
Absolutely not.
How about you? What is an essential on your Christmas dinner?
Well, do you know what? It's mine's. I'm gonna sort of change the tone a little bit now. I'm probably gonna get a bit emotional saying this, but my granddad, who isn't here anymore, unfortunately, used to make the most amazing stuffing at Christmas. And that was always his job. We'd always go to my nan and granddad's on Boxing Day and we'd have like a second Christmas dinner. And everybody else was left to their own devices, but my granddad took charge of the stuffing, and it was kind of like this sausage and onion and sage. It was the most delicious thing that I've ever had on a Christmas dinner. And since he hasn't been here, Christmas dinner just hasn't quite been the same.
Oh,
But it's one of those things, isn't it, that like when you lose somebody that you love, it's one of those things that later on you go, "God, I really should have asked him for that recipe."
yeah. My grandma used to make her own Yorkshire puddings, but they weren't like, like the Aunt Bessie's, like round ones. They were just like, it was like a flat thing.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, it was so good.
So, second question, because this leads into our next interview. What is, and I know this is like Sophie's choice, what is your favourite Christmas song of all time?
I love Christmas songs. I love catchy, annoying songs. That is my vibe. I love Barbie Girl and Spice Girls and all of those kind of things.
Is Barbie Girl a Christmas song?
No, but what I mean is songs that would annoy everyone else, like Gangnam Style, like Gangnam Style or the Macarena. I love. So I never get bored of hearing the Christmas songs. You know that game, right? My family play it, where you have to try and avoid hearing Last Christmas.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we do that as well.
Why on earth would you want to avoid Last Christmas? It's such an amazing song. I only get to hear it 1 month of the year. I want to lose that game. I want to hear that like straight away. But I do think that driving home for Christmas gives me goosebumps. It's so warm and beautiful. And so my mom is just so good at Christmas. She's just such an amazing host and Christmas person. But when she used to like pick me up from uni, or it'd be like the last day at school, and she would know that this was going to be our last day at school before Christmas or last day at uni before Christmas. And she would, even now, if I'm coming home from London, she'll meet me at the station and she'll have that on in the car. So it always, to me, is like that really means Christmas has begun when I hear Driving Home for Christmas.
I think as well that it's because it's Chris Rea, and it's like there's something quite heartwarming, isn't there, about hearing some gravelly voiced old rocker singing about lovely Christmas time.
Yeah, and he's English, and I thought for years he was American because obviously the song's so American. Yeah, well, I could be wrong. Fact check me. I think he's English, and he doesn't look anything like what you think he's going to look like because he's talking about the freeway and stuff. But I think he's from like Nottingham.
God, I'm gonna have to Google this now because we
honestly.
need to know.
Well, while you're Googling it, I was on the train once actually coming home, and it was Christmas
he's from
Eve.
Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough. Yeah.
Well, this has been a night of revelations.
So I was on the train once, and the driver actually played that before all the stops on Christmas Eve, and it was really lovely. How about you?
Well, I'm going to sort of sour proceedings now again because I know that you don't like my favourite Christmas song.
No, I know. But it's in the show. He got it in the show.
My favourite Christmas song, and it is a controversial choice, I grant you. It's not it's not Mariah Carey or anything like that. My favourite is Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses.
Which I don't get.
love it. I know every single word. And when it comes on, I sing every single word. And if I get any bits wrong, I put it back to the beginning and I start again.
Oh my gosh.
I just love it.
I know, I just think it goes on and on and on though. Which
It
is
is
silly 'cause
long. No, it is long. But it's a story. It's an actual hard-hitting story. If you look at the lyrics for Christmas Wrapping, it could be a Christmas film.
Maybe that's
In fact, it probably is a Christmas film. It's probably a Hallmark Christmas film.
We're going to do it next year. But we cannot leave this conversation without talking about, and I actually have this video and I think we should release it to the world. What If by Kate Winslet from The Christmas Carol.
It's an absolutely stunning song.
And Mike literally sobs when he hears it. And I've
cry.
got this video and I mean he sobs.
I absolutely cry. The other one being
The Love Is Gone.
The Love Is Gone from Muppet Christmas Carol. That's the one I cry through. Not What If. I'm too busy belting What If. I do cry through The Love Is Gone.
It's beautiful. And they tried to remove it from the movie, but it's been put back in.
It's when Michael Caine joins in and you think, oh my God, this is a Muppet film. This is an actual Muppet film. And here's me driving down the M62 crying. Oh no.
We should throw a Christmas party just with all these underrated Christmas songs. But you'd just be sat in the corner sobbing.
No,
If you love any of these songs like we do, get in touch because you are obviously soulmates with us and we need to meet you.
Another one. Now this is niche. Now we're getting nitty gritty here.
Can I guess? Can I guess and say?
Go on.
As long as there's Christmas.
Yes! Which is the song from Belle's Enchanted Christmas, the Beauty and the Beast song. And so it's Peebo Bryson and Roberta Flack sing like the official version. But then along came the absolute king and queen of British camp, Michael Ball and Elaine Page, and they did a version for, I think it was like a Michael Ball Christmas album, and that is like the Supremo version.
But who sings it in the film? The one and only Bernadette Peters. It is in a French accent. It is just everything camp and joyous that you could ever imagine. So if you've not seen that film, check it out because it is so good. My sister watches that film every year when she's wrapping her presents. That is what she watches.
Oh, that's a great one. I've got a present wrapping film as well. We'll get onto that in a second. But I just want to round up this song chat by just giving a shout out to the fact that you once produced a CD with the most obscure Christmas song on it that I could ever imagine. And I defy anybody listening to this to have even heard the song other than you.
Tell us what it is. Me and my mum made, and it was called A Christmas Cracker. And it was all the Christmas dud songs that nobody else likes but us. So obviously I had to show Mike.
Come on, tell us what was on it.
What was the song?
Know.
Don't include this to say I don't remember.
Think Big Brother.
Oh my gosh. So on this, I can't even... Oh my gosh, this is how it goes. At this time of year, friends and family gather near. And it's, what was his name? Craig from Big Brother.
Craig Phillips.
This
is how Big Brother won. This
is how niche my mum gets her Christmas, because she's like, oh, I'm fed up of hearing the same ones again and again. Because we've already listened to Cliff Richard's Christmas album, Rod Stewart's own Christmas album, Gregory Porter's own Christmas album, and then we have to get this Christmas cracker out.
Talking about random obscure Christmas songs, that was the first question that we asked our next guest, rugby legend Gareth Thomas, and he came out with, I would say, an equally offbeat answer. Shall we hear what he said?
What's your favourite Christmas song?
Well, my favourite Christmas song is a song by Steps. Oh, yes, it is. Called Heartbeat. And it's my favourite Christmas song because I think, even though there's some great Christmas songs out there, I think the one thing you have to have as your favourite song is something that takes you back to a great memory of Christmas. And whatever time of year that song is played, it always kind of transcends me back to the Christmas mood, especially when you got H's part, because it goes like, You are only a heartbeat away. And then H comes in with baby. And then the rest of the band sing the rest of the song in.
I hate you.
So I just that one word, baby. It's amazing. That's such a great job, H.
That is your Christmas come
But
through.
that's my Christmas song, and it's kind of a festive-ish video. They're in kind of a Lapland, kind of magical wonderland kind of
all
place.
in silver lycra, from what I remember.
Typical steps. Typical steps. But yeah, that's
Is that right?
that's the one for me.
You can come and join. You can come and join. You have to sort of defend yourself now because I've outed you as a silver lycra wearer.
So yeah, in my defence, it was way back when videos didn't have big budgets,
Well, you can tell that.
and all of the rest of the guys were in like ski suits, so they had skidoos
Yes.
and snowmobiles.
Yes.
And I was captured by the evil Ice Queen.
Yes, you was.
Yes.
And they wrapped you up in this rope.
Yes, which I really enjoyed.
Yes, you could tell that. It's like, don't take it off me. They wrapped you up in the rope and stole you and took you away, and then they came and found you and rescued you. Yes.
So you're playing Santa for us here in Elves Overboard.
Yes.
Who is your favourite Santa?
Oh, my husband Steve is my favourite Santa.
Oh.
Why? Does he cook for you?
No, he's my favourite Santa because I didn't think I'd ever really meet somebody who loved Christmas as much as me and wanted to celebrate Christmas as much as me. And he definitely, when it comes to decorations, when it comes to presents, when it comes to the most important thing of Christmas, and that's giving and not receiving.
I've spent many festive periods with Gareth because we've done panto together, and I can absolutely vouch that Gareth extends Christmas over 2 months. It's literally about the
Yes.
prep. It's about the food and friends and family and decorations.
And I think that's the thing with me with Christmas is Christmas, as important as Christmas Day is, I think the build up and the aftermath of Christmas is equally as important.
But it all revolves around food as well.
Yeah, standard.
So when do you
and
start?
Drink.
When do you start Christmas?
So I pretty much can say we've started, and that's no word of a lie. So right now it's October.
It's not even November.
Right, so it's October, whatever it is.
25th.
And we have a Christmas decoration in the house already. We
What
have
is it?
a nutcracker.
Nice.
You know the nutcracker?
Yeah.
The nutcracker. So we bought one of them and we've put that up in our hallway already. So basically Christmas has already begun. We've already started planning our decorations. We've got a date for our Christmas lights turn on.
Do you invite people over for
Yes.
that?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And
So you've got like a buzzer, a button
Oh
to
yeah, we
press
have
the lights
a
on.
button.
Ah, right.
A button, and our friend's son
No
Matthew presses the button.
Yeah.
And then what we have dotted around the house, because obviously the button doesn't control the lights, we have about
You'll ruin the magic.
we have about 7 or 8 people dotted around the house, hidden so they can't be seen from the window by a light switch. And when we shout 1, 2, 3, press it, Matthew presses it, and everyone in the house hears us, and then they flick the light switches, and the whole house comes on, and it pretty much stays on then for about 2 months.
And when do you take it all down? Do you have because some people say it's bad luck to do it early or late.
I leave it up, I do.
Yeah, well, our thing, because we do so much decorations and we like Christmas that much. There you are. That's my thing with people who are fussy about when you put Christmas decorations up. Is people who put their Christmas decorations up early don't care if other people put them up or not. So why do the people who don't put them up early care about the people who put them up early? Because I don't care what somebody else does with their decorations. So we'll keep them up. We'll put them up early enough and keep them up long enough after that all the hard work going into the prep and putting them up was worthwhile.
Yeah.
If you just put them up for a week, then you know what? All the hard work is pointless.
But it's not, your decorations are not like slapdash. They're literally like bows, baubles, and
Yes.
measured within an inch of their life.
And does it change every year, or are you a traditionalist?
Oh, well, no, because it pretty much, we add to the collection every year. We've got an attic which is literally full of Christmas decorations. That's all we can fit in our attic. So we add to that but we don't really change it. But Steve manages to change it in a way that they're in different places, so they look like they're new.
Steve was making decorations last year. Do you remember those? Was it reindeers? He was making
Oh yes, yes, Stephen. Yes, Steve makes wooden reindeers
out of logs and like twigs for
Yes.
antlers.
I think we need some pictures of that to share
I
with
thought they were
everyone.
really good.
Yeah,
They were.
Yeah.
Were you selling them as well, Steve?
Yeah, he was
For charity it
For
was.
charity,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't make a living from it.
And so why is Christmas so important to you that you celebrate it like this every year?
I think it's from when I was a child growing up. Christmas has always been a special day, and we've always celebrated it as a family. And this year in particular, I think for us as a family is a really special one because Steve's got a grandson now. And
you have?
And I have. We've got I got a step grandson. Steve's got a grandson, and he's nearly 3. And for the first year at Christmas, we're all staying in the same house together. And I think for us to have that element of youth in the house will just bring Christmas alive even more. So this year, more than any other year, is going to be a really, really special Christmas for us.
And
just
what's
because
his
of
name?
that. So Louis is his name.
And we say Merry Christmas, Louis.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Louis.
But this is a good year. 3 is a good age because he will actually understand
Yeah,
what Santa is
yeah.
and being naughty and nice.
But what we get is, I think, what he brings, and I think what children bring to Christmas rubs off on adults.
Yeah.
So I think to have a child around Christmas, even though I would enjoy and we would enjoy Christmas regardless, to have that is just kind of an extra present for us.
Yeah.
To be able to see the joy in his face and the magic that Christmas brings to children to life. So things like panto, things like opening presents on Christmas morning, things like having cuddles adds to it.
The boys shout up the chimney still, "Hi, Santa!
So yeah.
We've been good." Or Max goes, "We have tried to be good."
And I think it just all of that just adds to it. But yeah, it's always been a really, really just important family time for me, and just a time where even as my own family, if we don't see some parts of that family for 12 months, on Christmas Day, everybody makes that effort to come together. So regardless of everything that comes with the presents and the food and the drink, just that ability to realize that people are making an effort just to see you is a worthwhile present if you don't see them for the whole year.
And you mentioned panto there, and you are playing Santa in Elves Overboard. Why was it important for you to get involved in Elves Overboard?
For me to get involved, first of all, I love panto. I think panto is such a tradition for people. And also I think for it to be the first panto in Cowbridge, it's accessibility and the ability for people maybe who can't get to the city or get to other places where pantos have been, for them to have that magic that panto brings into their lives where maybe they've never had it before. And panto's not just about entertaining children. It's about families being entertained. It's about adults. It's about children. It's about the whole package. So I think to have it accessible for people who may not have been able to access it before, in a village like Cowbridge where me and Stephen have lived, we spend a lot of our time. So to be able to do something that really gives something back to the community is always worthwhile. But at a special time like this, and at a Christmas time, and such a way that people will remember the first panto, is, as much as it's an honour and a privilege, it's a real exciting thing that I want to be a part of.
Amazing. And you are a panto veteran, so we would love to know.
How many have you done? How many pantos?
Well, I retired 10 years ago from rugby. I'm just putting out that I did play rugby. I am just done panto. I retired from rugby 10 years ago, and I pretty much went straight into panto. So I'd say 9 years of panto, so 9 pantos.
And what's your favourite character you've ever played? Apart from Father Christmas, of course.
Well, I usually only ever really play myself. So I usually play a character based around myself. So I could say
You've got to dig deep, right?
So I could say, yeah, I am going to find inspiration from elsewhere, 'cause I'm usually just playing myself. So I don't really know what character is the best to play. Probably playing Father Christmas now is for me because it's a different role. It's something completely different, something I'm not used to.
I've been on stage with you a lot. Yeah, I've been on stage with you a lot, and I can say my favourite role I've seen you in is the genie in Aladdin.
Yes!
Because Gareth,
I forgot the genie.
Gareth got to share the stage with me, and he lived his best
Oh,
life.
yes.
Because
So I've always wanted to be a singer. And I've always wanted to be in a band, but I don't want to be like, nobody wants to be the bass guitarist. Like nobody wants to be the drummer. Nobody wants to be the drummer. You know, I wanted to be the lead singer, obviously. So when we did Stomp, so we did the Stomp, the step song Stomp. We were all on stage dancing, and H takes the center, and I take kind of like far back left. And I always wanted to be centre. And one day I said to him, like, I always wanted to be in the centre. And one day, the day my parents came to watch me, he, unbeknown to me, gave me a quick look and said, come over. And he swapped roles with me so my parents could then see me doing the Stomp, centre stage, living my best life, living the dream, leading the charge on Stomp. So that was a pretty...
And
special.
was he fabulous?
do you know what? The look on his face, the sheer joy.
Yes, it was. And another reason why I loved being Genie, I forgot about Genie because I did so many roles, was because I didn't have to sell it that much. It was all about, they basically said to me, look, your role is, we'll wheel you on, take your top off, and we'll wheel you off.
And do you know what?
You don't have to say much more. Just get your kit off.
This show, I was
was
in every scene. I had dialogue every other line. I sang like 6 songs, but it didn't matter. He came on and stole the show in his hot pants.
on the end walk on.
Biggest cheer.
What had they done? Take my top off. I mean, there's a talent there somewhere, I'm telling you.
It's what the
There's a
public
talent
want.
there
You've
somewhere.
Got to give the public
Yeah,
what the public
exactly. They demand, I deliver.
Well, can we have a little sample of your Father Christmas?
Ho, ho, ho!
Yeah, but
No, that was
you're gonna
scary.
scare
That was
everyone.
scary. That was scary. That was because I'm channeling. Ho, ho, ho!
You're still shouting. You were playing Father Christmas.
Are you directing this?
I think in the zone.
Yeah. Ho, 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 ho.
That was it.
Yo, you just do one.
Well, I'm not Father Christmas.
No, I know, but go on, you're demanding me. Go on.
Ho, 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 ho.
Oh, that was so like Mother Christmas, trying to be like Father Christmas.
Well, I haven't got a big bellowy voice.
Oh, it's right for you to have an excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Thank you so much for your time, and it's just been gorgeous to talk to you. I would love to know, on Christmas Day, what will you be drinking?
Oh.
What won't he be drinking?
Yeah. So I will be drinking, without a shadow of a doubt, a salted caramel Baileys with an ice cube.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm personally gutted that we missed that show.
I know. Doesn't it sound brilliant?
It
And to
actually
have
does.
both of them in it at the same time.
But I love that he embraced how shameless it was. We must have seen some pretty shameless things in our time in pantos over the years. Can you think of a moment from a celebrity that you've ever seen in a panto where you've thought they actually did it? The only thing that springs immediately to mind is I was in panto with EastEnders legend Dean Gaffney many moons ago.
And I saw this.
And he played Wishy Washy in Aladdin. And obviously, he just had a stuffed dog that he called Wellard for the whole show.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course he did. Of course he did. He had to. He's Dean Gaffney.
He must have that and just take it everywhere with him.
Yeah, it was this big stuffed Alsatian. And nobody referenced the dog at all on stage. Absolutely nobody. No other characters interacted with the dog. No other characters at any point just made a little throwaway comment of, how's the dog, Wishy? Like, nothing like that. But it was just Wellard from EastEnders. I think in the end, he saved the day. I think in the end, the secret to making Abanazar good, Wellard told Wishy Washy.
I wish I could remember. I did see it, but I wish I could remember. I was in The Wizard of Oz, And Bruce Jones from Coronation Street, Les Battersby, was the wizard. And this, I think, is exactly what Gareth was talking about, in that there was no way he was going to play the wizard, because even if he had been Ian McKellen and been able to pull out the most profound wizard performance of all time, the audience didn't want him to be anything other than Les Battersby. And I think that's such an interesting thing in Panto. And obviously Gareth has just clocked that and ran with it. And it's so brilliant when that happens, because you're not then fighting the audience, you are giving them what they want. And I think that's so, from a theatre perspective, it's so interesting, because here we all are slogging our guts out trying to invent these characters. And why is the witch so annoyed with Dorothy, and why did Dorothy want to run away from home? And basically all he had to do was come out and be Les Battersby, and that's all they wanted.
But I think it's a fine line, though, as well, isn't it? Because I think that is actually quite difficult to get right in a panto, and for it to not just feel tacky and cheap, you know, an easy laugh. But it can be done, and because we've seen it done.
Absolutely. And I think, hopefully, with our lovely 3 celebrities in our panto, we've done just that. So why don't we chat to our last, but definitely not least, celebrity role, Caryl Parry Jones as Mrs. Claus.
Thank you for being involved in Elves Overboard. We'd love to know, why is it that you wanted to get involved?
Well, it's Christmas and I absolutely adore Christmas. I look forward to it from August onwards. And also, I'm so happy this is happening in Cowbridge in the Bont Fean, because I've lived here for 36 years, coming on to 37 years now. And I've been thinking for years, we should have a pantomime in Cowbridge. That would bring everybody together. Got so many events that goes on now in Cowbridge. We've got the food fair, we've got Pride, which has been a brilliant success in the past couple of years. We've got our tractor run. And then I just thought, oh gosh, it would be so nice to have something at Christmas time to bring everybody together, because we all tend to stay indoors, don't we, at Christmas? So this is just such a pleasure. It's like a Cowbridge dream come true.
Oh, wonderful. And how has it been to play Mrs. Claus?
Well, do you know what? I think I am Mrs. Claus, to be honest. I love Christmas so much. I love thinking about presents to give to people. I'm making chutneys and marmalades and all sorts from about July. And now that I'm older and a bit more rotund, I think I make a very good Mrs. Claus, actually. And I quite fancy Father Christmas.
Ooh, don't we all? Don't we all? So, Christmas Eve for you. What can we find Caryl getting up to on Christmas Eve?
Well, do you know what? Christmas Eve, 37 years ago, I gave birth to my daughter, Ellen. So Christmas Eve is very special in our house. And we make sure we've stopped everything by the 23rd so we can celebrate her birthday as well. But now I've got 2 little grandsons, and so they come to stay with us on the 23rd. And then on the 24th, we'll have a nice big brunch. Ooh. A nice, which kind of doubles up as Ellen's birthday party. And then we'll just carry on peeling veg and getting the Christmas tree ready with all the presents. And there'll be a sherry involved, and a mince pie. And we'll probably watch a really weepy film.
A weepy film?
Well, when I say weepy, what I mean is Christmassy weepy.
Right, okay.
So we've got It's a Wonderful Life. And
my favourite one. It's my favourite Christmas film.
Oh my gosh, every time I hear a bell ring, I know an angel's had its wings. I love it so much. And there are so many great Christmas, even the rubbish ones. Mm-hmm. I'll just believe every word of them. I'm stupid for Christmas.
And what's your favourite Christmas song?
Ooh. That is a good question. I think it would have to be Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. It's so sad. But I also like It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. And I like Walking in a Winter Wonderland. Da 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 da. And again, it's a new bird, and sing as long as we go along. Winter Wonderland.
Beautiful. Very nice. So, can I ask you, would you rather have pigs in blankets or an electric blanket?
Oh, that's the most impossible question to ask. I'd like a pig in my electric blanket. No, I think I'll go for the pigs in blankets because, you know, there are other ways of getting warm on a winter's evening, isn't there?
There certainly is, Carol. There certainly is. Would you rather watch the King's Speech on Christmas Day or the King's Speech with Colin Firth?
Oh, I don't watch the King's Speech at all. Colin Firth would probably have my vote over anybody else.
And what's your preferred drink on Christmas Day?
Oh, that's a good... Now then, this is interesting because when I was little, the only thing... My parents allowed me to have a snowball or a port and lemon.
Oh, a
Little
port
bit
and
of
lemon.
port with some lemonade in it, and that is really a blast from the past for me. So I quite like to get a bottle of Advocaine, a lime cordial, bit of lemonade, make myself a snowball, happy bunny. Anything, any cocktail that you can't see through, I'm in.
That you can't see through.
Yeah.
I love it. Anything with the Baileys. The Baileys is my Christmas. Yeah.
The creamier the better.
Yeah.
Baileys with ice, with a little whiskey in it is nice as well.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much. Do you have any other Welsh Christmas carols that you
Yeah.
can sing? Can you come and sing? The stage is yours.
Okay. Well, this is one I wrote, which people seem to like. Okay. Daeth gwyl y baban a gwynol i'r byd, deuwch cenwch codborwch, dewch at eich gilydd a bloeddiwch ynghyd, fel un Hallelujah.
And can you, for us English folk, can you translate roughly what you're talking
Gwyl y
about?
baban is the baby's time, because it's baby Jesus we're talking about here. So the baby's time came back to the world, and we'll all come together and celebrate, and let's get together and shout all over the world, Hallelujah. Hallelujah!
Well, I think that's what everyone's going to be doing once they've seen Elves Overboard.
Definitely will be hallelujah-ing all over the place.
Thank you, Carol. That was amazing.
You're
Lovely to
welcome.
speak to you.
And you too.
Thank you.
Oh, I love Caryl Parry Jones.
She's
love
an
Caryl Parry Jones.
She is like Christmas embodied. Obviously, I've only met her doing a Christmas project. However, I can't imagine that she even exists in the summer or in the spring because she is just Christmas. So if anyone spots Caryl Parry Jones out in the wild outside of the Christmas season, then let us know, because I'm not sure she exists. Maybe she hibernates.
She's
in
like
the
Mariah
summer.
Carey and Michael Bublé, where they get frozen for the year and they defrost just before Christmas.
Yeah, but they're doing that for like money reasons and stuff. I think this is her soul. Her soul is everything that you love about Christmas is inside that woman.
And I love that she said she likes a nice weepy Christmas film, because I get that. Like, as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, yeah. Because as is established, I mean, I just sound like the biggest wet lettuce. But I spend most Christmas films just crying.
Of course you do.
I cry through most Christmas films.
My favourite Christmas film,
I haven't asked you.
I'm just going in with it, is, and it was mentioned by Carol, is It's a Wonderful Life. It is just the most beautiful, well written, well acted. James Stewart, love him. It renews your faith in the world every single year. I just adore it. I adore it. And I can't have Christmas without it. Me and my husband even went to the cinema to watch it because we were like, yeah, we've got it at home, but we're going to pay to see it on the big screen. And we've got it in black and white and we've got it in colour. And the black and white is better for those of you that are wondering about that.
I was going to say, I've got that same DVD with the 2 versions on, and I've never watched the colour version.
It's good, but I don't know, black and white, it's just beautiful. James Stewart, one of my favourite actors. So I love that. But modern Christmas films, although I'm saying this and it's definitely about 20 years old, is The Holiday. I adore it.
Oh, it's great.
I adore it. I actually watched it once 3 times in a row, like as in 3 evenings in a row with different people, all ended up wanting to watch that. And I enjoyed it just as much every time.
No, it is great. It's really great. I remember watching it for the first time and thinking, oh, God, this is going to be so saccharine and so gushy and so gooey. I'm going to hate it. And I loved every single second of it.
There's not a one moment in that film that can go, and the casting is so spot on. Like, obviously, you've got Jude Law and Cameron Diaz, like Kate Winslet, Jack Black, but even like Rufus Sewell is just so good in that film. And Cameron Diaz's wardrobe, I mean, that is the iconic, like, I want that. If I was turning up every day to Elves Overboard to Cowbridge Town Hall in her clothes, I'd be done. That'd be it.
Black and white coat.
Oh, you know how I love a coat. How about you then, Mike? You can't steal mine because we know you. Because, I mean, you actually have an advent calendar of films, don't you?
Yeah,
Christmas?
I do really. And I've got certain films that I watch at certain times. So I always start by watching at the very start of December when I put my decorations up. I always watch Hook. I love Hook.
Oh.
And it really gets me in the mood. And it could be argued that it's not a Christmas film, but the whole beginning is set at Christmas time. The whole film is set at Christmas. Is. Yeah, thank you very much. I've had this argument with many people.
It's you, Peter.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. It really kind of kicks me off. It really starts the December well. My film that I watch when I'm rapping is, and I mean rapping presents, not like, doing Jay-Z, but the film that I watch when I'm rapping is Santa Claus, the movie, with Dudley Moore.
Yes. That is a classic.
A real classic, a genuine classic. And do you know what? Truthfully, I feel as though that is where a lot of the influence for the style of Elves Overboard came from. I was imagining us in that world. In the world of, Dudley Moore and all the big oversized toys, and they're all kind of block colours and it's very animated looking. That's
the
what
enthusiasm. The enthusiasm
totally.
of all those elves, and I think that's where it jars because Bubble is not feeling that enthusiasm.
But then there's others. There's obviously controversial opinion, but Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, which is the superior Home Alone film.
Of course it is. That is not controversial at all. That is just fact.
Tim Curry, need I say more? But I think a top 3 for me, and I've already named about 9, would have to be The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
White Christmas.
Oh, how did I not say all of these? Because these are my
forgot about White
favourites.
Christmas?
Well, no,
White
how
Christmas
can I
is-
forget Vera Ellen's disappearing waist during that film? She gets thinner and thinner as the film goes on, and honestly, by the end, I think there's a rumor that she had a rib removed because her waist is so small.
It's tiny.
My husband's obsessed with watching that every Christmas because of her dancing.
No, it's amazing. She's amazing in it. And there's one point where Danny Kaye has his hand around her waist, and his whole hand is practically around her waist.
Yeah, and Danny Kaye, I mean, his variety shows at the London Palladium, for me, are some of my favourite parts of Variety. So there you go. Everything comes back to Variety.
And did you know that he's from Middlesbrough?
Shut up. Okay, so what's your top one? Top one.
I don't know whether it's my top one, but this is the one that I always watch the last thing before I go to bed on Christmas Eve. And even this Christmas, because we're doing a show on Christmas Eve and we're travelling a long way after we finish the last show. But
and we're going to listen to Driving Home for Christmas the whole way.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have that on a loop. But when I get in, it doesn't matter how late we get in, I will still watch it. And it is the original half an hour 60s version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Really?
The Chuck Jones version with Boris Karloff doing the narration. I absolutely love that more than anything else in the world. And I watch it every Christmas Eve, and it just...
I don't think I've ever seen that.
What?
No?
Oh, it's great.
So we need to watch this during Elves Overboard. We need to
we
watch
do.
this and get it on.
We do. And, obviously Jim Carrey was great and Benedict Cumberbatch was great. But this one for me is like, it's the definitive Grinch.
No matter what time we get home, you're going to put it on.
Yeah, because it's only half an hour. Make a cup of tea, settle down, half an hour, you're in bed. Bish, bash, bosh.
Well, we would love to hear from all of you about your favourite Christmas traditions, your favourite Christmas songs, your favourite Christmas movies, anything you want to tell us about Christmas. We would love to know. And if you are joining us at Cowbridge Town Hall to watch Elves Overboard, please get in touch because we would love to hear from you before and after the show. We are going to be there every day. We would love to meet you. We would love to chat to you. We are so excited to spend time in the community of Cowbridge. And if you want to get in touch, here's how you do it.
You can get in touch with us on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, which is now X. I still haven't got used to that. We're on TikTok, we're on YouTube. Just search Twice Nightly the podcast and you will find us. And also don't forget that you can get in touch with us via our SpeakPipe, www.speakpipe.com/Twice Nightly the podcast.
So if you want to leave us a message about this podcast, about the show, or a message to anyone involved in the show, please send them our way because we would love to hear from you.
This has been so lovely and it's made me really excited to get back in the saddle for Series 4.
Me too. And it's made me feel festive because I haven't been feeling festive at all. I think because we've been living in Christmas since July, it just feels like a different world somehow. But this has actually made me realise that it's happening and it's happening soon. So if you don't have your tickets yet, get your tickets and we'll see you there.
All that's left for us to say is...
See you next year.
And a Merry Christmas! Tough tits, Cliff, that's what you get.
Dear, well, I didn't think I was going to hear the phrase tough tits Cliff today.